Well, good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, those who identify in any other fashion. My name is Alex Metalsky. I am the director of Much Ado About Nothing and also the creator of our theater's Summer Shakespeare program. So, on behalf of the fleeing artists, I want to welcome you and thank you all so very, very much for coming. We couldn't do this without an audience, and the fact that we have you watching today, even from a distance, is a testament to the need for theater right now. So thank you so much for coming in. Before we do get started, and I'll be as quick as I can, I have a few pre-show announcements. Number one, tech-wise, what we recommend for you new viewers who haven't used Zoom before is watching in what's called gallery mode. That's the mode where all of the actors are layered on top of each other like a set of boxes, like the Brady Bunch or Hollywood Squares, or like that one episode of Rick and Morty with the Schrodinger cat thing. Anyway, if you don't know that reference, that's okay. Don't worry about it. That way you can see multiple actors at once. For mobile users, you can only see 4, maybe 3 people at a time. You might have to swipe back and forth. Computer or PC or Mac is the best way to view it, but if you don't, you can still watch it however you want. And next, tech-wise, this is obviously a technical show. We are at the mercy of our Wi-Fi signal, so we're going to power through if there is any lag, and if there is lag, we do apologize, and we thank you so very much for your understanding. Next, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that this show is sponsored by the Kenosha Community Foundation. We could not do this show without them. Kenosha is the city that we're based in Wisconsin. It's just north of Chicago, just south of Milwaukee, for those who are not in the Midwest area and have never heard of Kenosha. The foundation awarded us an Arts Fund grant to produce shows over the summer. Normally we produce free shows in the park for everybody, but obviously with everything going on, we switched to an online only format. Still free, we want to make sure of that, and we could not do this without their support. So thank you, Kenosha Community Foundation, and thank you all so much for tuning in. Like I said before, we could not do theater without an audience, and the fact that you are tuning in and still tuning in and more joining is fantastic. Thank you. This is a free show. That being said, let me put my capitalist hat on for a second. We are asking for donations from those who are able to support us. Zoom shows aren't expensive, but they are also not free. And so any amount you can donate would help support our Zoom productions for the future. But with that said, this is an unprecedented once-in-a-century time. Times are tough, and we know that if you cannot make a donation at this time, that is totally fine. This is a free show. We're doing this because we love doing Shakespeare, we love reading Shakespeare, we love performing, and we love that you're here and supporting us in that way. So if you can't donate, that's fine. And if you can, we really appreciate it. And we have a PayPal link in our Facebook event and at the top of our Facebook page. I'll talk more about that later, because more important and to the point, you are here to watch some Shakespeare. This is a reading of Shakespeare performed by actors from all over the Midwest, the Rose Cast. It's a reading. We have a few props, we have a few costumes, but most importantly, we have you and your imaginations, your beautiful imaginations who can fill in the gaps as needed, as was done 400 years ago when these words were performed at the Globe Theater and the Theater and the Rose Theater, et cetera, et cetera. That's everything I've got, I think. Yep. Let me not prattle on anymore. Let's get to why you're here. Much Ado About Nothing, sponsored by the Kenosha Community Foundation. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. JK, I'm also the narrator. Hi. Anyway, Much Ado About Nothing, written by William Shakespeare in 1598 and performed in the year of quarantine, 2020, by the Fleeing Artists Theater. Act 1, Scene 1. The location, the city of Messina, just off the country of Italy on the Isle of Sicily, at the governor's mansion, Leonato's house. Speaking of whom, Leonato, the governor, stands outside along with her daughter Hero and her niece Beatrice. A messenger arrives bearing a letter of import from the war effort. He hands the letter to Leonato. Let's find out what it says together.
I learn in this letter that Don Pedro of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
Victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Pedro hath bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing in the figure of a lamb the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectation that you must expect of me to tell you how.
I pray you, is Signor Montanto returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedict of Padua.
Oh, he's returned, and as pleasant as he ever was.
I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed I promised to eat all of his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much. But he'll be meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You have musty victual, and he hath holp to eat it. He is a very valiant trencherman. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier to a lady, but what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man. But for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not mistake my niece. There's a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and now is the whole man governed with one. So that if he have wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear it for the difference between himself and his horse. For it is all the wealth he hath left to be known, a reasonable creature. Who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
Is it possible?
Very easily possible. He wears his faith, but as the fashion of his hat. It ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady. The gentleman is not in your books.
Huh. No. And he were, I would burn my study. But I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squarer that will make a voyage with him unto the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord, he will hang upon him like a disease. He is sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. Oh, God, help the noble Claudio. If he hath, well, caught the Benedict, it'll cost him £1,000 ere he be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
You will never run mad, niece.
No, not till a hot January.
Don Pedro has approached.
Good Signor Leonardo, are you come to meet your trouble? The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you seem to avoid it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace. For trouble being gone, comfort should remain. But when you depart from me, sorrow abides and happiness takes its leave.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter?
Her father hath many times told me so.
Were you in doubt, sir, that you asked him?
Benedict, no, for then you were a child.
You have it full, Benedict. We may guess by this what you are, being a man. Truly the lady fathers herself. Be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Signor Leonardo be her mother, she would not have her head on her shoulders, for all Messina is like her as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
What? My dear Lady Disdain! Are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die? Will she have such meat food defeated as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then is courtesy a turncoat? But it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women. They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God in my cold blood I am of your humor for that. I had rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
God, keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall scape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse, and 'twere such a face as yours were.
Well, you are a rare parrot, teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue and so good a continuer. But Keep your way, in God's name I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
That is the sum of all, Leonardo. Signor Claudio and Signor Benedict, my dear friend Leonardo hath invited you all. I tell her that we shall stay here at the least a month. And she heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear she is no hypocrite, but prays from her heart.
If you swear, my lord, you shall not be forsworn. Let me bid you welcome, my lord. Being reconciled to the prince your brother, I owe you all duty.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please, at your grace, lead on.
Your hand, Leonardo. We will go together.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonardo?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me as an honest man should do for my simple, true judgment? Or would you have me speak after my custom as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee, speak in sober judgment.
Why, in faith, methinks she's too low for a high praise and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation I can afford her, that were she other but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yeah, and a case to put it in. But speak you this with a sad brow? Come, in what key shall a man take you to go in the song?
In mine eye, she's the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
Oh, I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There was her cousin, and she were not possessed with a fury, exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary. If Hero would be my wife.
Is come to this. In faith, hath not the world one man, but he will wear his cap with suspicion? Shall I never see a bachelor of 80 again? Go to, in faith, and thou wilt needs thrust thy neck into a yoke, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays. Huh. Look, Don Pedro is returned to seek you.
What secret hath held you here that you follow not to Leonardo's?
I would your grace would constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
Oh, you hear, Count Claudio? I can be secret as a dumb man, I would have you think so. But on my allegiance, mark you this, on my allegiance. He is in love. With who? Now that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonardo's short daughter.
If my passion change not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise.
Amen, if you love her, for the lady is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
Oh, by my troth, I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my two-faced and troth, my lord, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved nor know how she should be worthy is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never could maintain his parts but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will have a recheat winded in my forehead or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me. Because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any, I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, for the which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I'll see thee ere I die look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood with love than I will get again with drinking. pick out mine eyes with a ballad maker's pen, and hang me up at the door of a brothel house for the sign of blind Cupid.
Well, as time shall try, in time the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedict bear it, pluck off the bull's horns and set them in my forehead, and let me be vilely painted, and in such great letters as they write, here is good horse to hire. Let them signify under my sign, here you may see Benedict, the married man.
If this should ever happen, thou wouldst be horn mad.
Oh, nay, if Cupid have not spent all his quivers in Venice, thou shalt quake for this shortly.
I look for an earthquake too then, and so I leave you.
Well, commend me to Leonardo, and tell her that I will not fail her at supper, for indeed she hath made great preparation.
My liege, your highness may now do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it but how, and thou shalt see how apt it is to learn a hard lesson that may do thee good. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, my lord. When you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye, that liked, but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned. Those war thoughts are left, all prompting me how fair young hero is.
If thou dost love fair hero, cherish it, and I will break with her and with her mother, and thou shalt have her. Was not to this end that thou beganst to twist so fine a story?
How sweetly you do minister to love, that no loves grief by his complexion.
Oh, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have some reveling tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair hero that I am Claudio, and in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then after, to her mother will I break, and the conclusion is, she shall be thine. In practice, let us put it presently.
How now, daughter? Where is the rest of our company?
They are very busy about, but mother, I can tell you strange news that I dreamt not of.
Are they good?
The prince and Count Claudio, walking in a thick-pleached alley in the orchard, were thus much overheard. The prince discovered from Claudio, well, that he loved me, and means to acknowledge it this night in a dance. And if he found me accordant, he means to take the present time by the top and instantly break with you of it.
We will hold it as a dream till it appear itself. But I will advise you that you may be the better prepared for an answer if peradventure this be true.
Go in with me and I will use your skill.
Meanwhile, inside Leonardo's house for Act 1, Scene 2, we find Don John the Bastard, clearly not the villain of the play, lamenting over her status as a captured war criminal to the only woman who will listen, Conrad.
What the good year, my lord? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds, therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
I wonder why thou goest about to apply a moral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and laugh at no man's jests, and eat when I have stomach, laugh when I am merry, and claw no man in his humor.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath taken you newly into his grace. For it is impossible you should take true root, but by the fair weather you make yourself.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. It must not be denied that I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore, I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had a mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me. Who comes here? Oh, what news, Baraccio?
The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonato, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve as a model to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Mary, it is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio.
Even he.
A proper squire. And who, which way looks he?
Mary, on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
A very forward march chick. How came you to this?
Being entertained for a perfumer, as I was smoking a musty room, comes me the prince and Claudio, hand in hand in sad conference. I heard it agreed upon that the prince should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Come, let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. If I can cross him any way, I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me?
To the death, my lord.
We'll wait upon your lordship.
With a mischievous plot now in play, we move forward into Act 2, Scene 1, later that night, where a mask ball is thrown. The servants, Margaret and Ursula, are busy setting up all the decorations. It is lavish and expensive, and the music that plays has really expensive licensing rights. And I'm not just saying that because it's a Zoom production. Soon, Leonato, as well as her daughter Hero and her niece Beatrice, enter the room, drinks in hand, gossiping just after dinner.
Was not Count John here at supper?
I saw her not.
How tartly that lady looks. I never can see her, but I am heartburned an hour after.
She is of a very melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were made just in the midway between her and Benedict. The one is too like an image and says nothing, and the other too like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
Then half Signor Benedict's tongue in Count John's mouth and half Count John's melancholy in Signor Benedict's face.
With a good leg and a good foot on't and money enough in his purse, such a man would win any woman in the world if he could get it will.
By my troth, cuz thou wilt never get thee a husband, if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
In faith, she's too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God sending that way. For it is said, God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed, he sends none.
So by being too cursed, God will send you no horns.
Just if he send me no husband, for the which blessing I am at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I had rather lie in the woolen.
You may light on a husband that hath no beard.
What shall I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him. Therefore, I will even take 6 pence in earnest of the bare word and lead his apes into hell.
Well, then go you into hell.
No, but to the gate. And there will the devil meet me like an old cuckold with horns on his head and say, "Get you to heaven, Beatrice, get you to heaven. Here's no place for you maids." So, deliver I up my apes and away to St. Peter for the heavens. He shows me where the bachelors sit, and there live we as merry as the day is long.
Well, cuz I hope to see you one day fitted with a husband.
not till God make men of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered with a piece of valiant dust? To make an account of her life to a clod of wayward marrow? No, cuz I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it a sin to match in my kindred.
Daughter, remember what I told you. If the prince do solicit you in that kind, you know your answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin, if you not be wooed in good time. If the prince be too important, tell him there is measure in everything, and so dance out the answer. For hear me, hear me, hero. Wooing, wedding, and repenting is as a Scotch jig, a measure, and a sink pace. The first suit is hot and hasty as a Scotch jig, and full as fantastical. The wedding, mannerly modest as a measure, full of state and ancientry. And then comes repentance, and with his bad legs falls into the sink pace faster and faster till he sink into his grave.
Cousin, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I am a good aunt. I can see a church by daylight.
The revelers are entering.
Make good room. Cousins, you know what you have to do. Oh, I cry you mercy, good friend. Good cousins, have a care this busy time.
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing. I am yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
Oh, with me in your company?
I may say so, when I please.
And when please you to say so?
When I like your favor, for God defends the lute should be like the case.
Oh, my visor's Philemon's roof. What's in the house is Jove.
Why then, your visor should be thatched.
Oh, speak low if you speak of love.
Well, I would you did like me.
So would not I, for your own sake, for I have many ill qualities.
Oh, which is one?
I say my prayers aloud.
Oh, I love you the better. The hearers may cry, Amen.
God, match me with a good dancer.
Amen.
And God keep him out of my sight when the dance is done. Answer, clerk.
Oh, no more words. The clerk is answered.
I know you well enough. You are Signor Leonardo.
Add a word. I am not.
I know you by the waggling of your head.
To tell you true, I counterfeit her.
You could never do her so ill well, unless you were the very woman. Here's her dry hand, up and down. You are she. You are she.
Add a word. I am not.
Come. Do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Go to mum. You are she. Graces will appear, and there's an end.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
Nor will you not tell me who you are?
Not now.
That I was disdainful, and that I had my wit out of the 100 merry tales. Well, this was Signor Benedict that said so.
What's he?
I am sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Did he never make you laugh?
I pray you, what is he?
He is the prince's jester, a very dull fool. Only his gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him, and the commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy, for he both pleases men and angers them, and then they laugh at him and beat him. I am sure he is in the fleet. I would he had boarded me.
When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
Do. He'll but break a comparison or two on me, which, peradventure not marked or not laughed at, strikes him into melancholy. And then there's a partridge wing saved, for the fool will have no supper that night. Come, we must follow the leaders.
In every good thing.
Nay, if they lead to any ill, I'll leave them at the next turning.
Sure, my brother is amorous on Hero, and hath withdrawn her father to break with him about it. The ladies follow her, and but one visor remains.
And that one's Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are not you Signor Benedict?
You know me well. I am he.
Signor, you are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you dissuade him from her. She is no equal to his birth. You may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he likes her?
I heard him swear his affection.
So did I.
So did I too. Oh, and he swore he would marry her tonight.
Come, let us to the banquet.
Thus answer I in name of Benedict, but hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so. The prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save in the office and affairs of love. Therefore, all hearts and love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself, and trust no agent. For beauty is a witch against whose charms faith melteth into blood. This is an accident of hourly proof, which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, hero.
Count Claudio?
Yeah, the same.
Come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next willow, about your own business county? What fashion will you wear the garland of? About your neck like a usurer's chain, or under your arm like a lieutenant's scarf? You must wear it one way, for the prince hath got your hero.
I wish him joy of her.
Why? Did you think the prince would have served you thus?
I pray you leave me.
Ho! Now you strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post.
If it will not be, I'll leave you.
Alas, poor hurt fowl. Now will he creep into sedges. But that my lady Beatrice should know me and not know me. The prince's fool. Ha! It may be I go under that title because I am merry. Yea, but so I'm apt to do myself wrong. I am not so reputed. It is the base though bitter disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person and so gives me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may.
Now, Signor, where's the Count? Did you see him?
Troth, my lord, I have played the part of Lady Fame. I found him here as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think I told him true, that your grace had got the good will of this young lady, and I offered him my company to a willow tree, either to make him a garland as being forsaken, or to bind him up a rod as being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What is his fault?
The flat transgression of a schoolboy who, being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it his companion, and he steals it.
Wilt thou make a trust a transgression? No, the transgression is in the stealer.
Yet it had not been amiss the rod had been made, and the garland too. For the garland he might have worn himself, and the rod he might have bestowed on you, who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
Oh, I will but teach them to sing and restore them to the owner. Oh, the lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with her told her that she is much wronged by you.
Oh, she misused me past the endurance of a block. An oak but with one green leaf on it would have answered her. My very visor began to assume life and scold with her. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester, that I was duller than a great thaw, huddling jest upon jest with such impossible conveyance upon me that I stood like a man at a mark, with a whole army shooting at me. She speaks poniards, and every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, there were no living near her. She would infect to the North Star. I would to God some scholar would conjure her, for certainly while she is here, a man may live as quiet in hell as in a sanctuary, and people sin upon purpose to go thither. So indeed, all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follows her.
Look, here she comes.
Oh, will your grace command me any service to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now to the Antipodes, rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy. You have no employment for me?
Oh, none but to desire your good company.
Oh, God, sir. Here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Oh, come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord, he lent it me a while, and I gave him use for it. A double heart for his single one. Marry, once before he won it of me with false dice. Therefore your grace may well say I have lost it.
Oh, you have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
So I would not he should do me, lest I should prove the mother of fools. I have brought Count Claudio, whom you sent me to seek.
Why? How now, Count? Wherefore are you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then, sick?
Neither, my lord.
The Count is neither sad, nor sick, nor married, nor well, but civil, Count, civil as an orange, and something of that jealous complexion.
In faith, lady, I think your blazons to be true. Though I'll be sworn, if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair hero is won. I have broke with her mother, and her goods will obtain. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take me of my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace hath made the match, and all grace say amen to it.
Speak, Count, 'tis your cue.
A silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I gave away myself for you and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss, and let not him speak neither.
In faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yea, I thank it, poor fool. It keeps on the windy side of care. Oh, my cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Good Lord for alliance. Thus goes everyone to the world but I, and I am sunburnt. I may sit in a corner and cry, hey ho, for a husband.
Oh. Will you have me, lady?
No, my lord, unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day. But I beseech your grace, pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Oh. Your silence most offends me. And to be married best becomes you, for out of question, you were born under a merry hour.
No, sure, my lord. My mother cried. But then there was a star dance, and under that was I born. Cousins, God give you joy.
Jeez, will you look to those things I told you of?
I cry your mercy, aunt. By your grace's pardon.
Oh, by my troth, A pleasant-spirited lady.
There's little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad but when she sleeps, and not ever sad then, for I have heard her often dream of unhappiness and wake herself with laughing.
She cannot adore a tale of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She makes all her wars out of soap.
She were an excellent wife for Benedict.
Oh, Lord. My lord, if they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
Oh, County Claudio, what mean you to go to church?
It's tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on crutches till love have all his rights.
Not till Monday, my dear son, which is hence just a night, and a time too brief too to have all things answer to my mind.
Come, you shake your head at so long a breathing. But I warn thee, Claudio, the time shall not go dully by us. I will, in the interim, undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedict and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other. I would fain have it a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it. If you three would be much but ministers and such assistance as I give you direction.
My lord, I am for you, though it cost me 10 nights' watchings.
And I, my lord.
And you too, gentle hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
Oh, and Benedict is not the unhopefullest husband that I know. Thus far can I praise him. He is of a noble strain, of approved valor, and of a confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to humor your cousin that she shall fall in love with Benedict. And I, with your two helps, was so practiced on Benedict that, in despite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love gods. Go in with me and I will tell you my drift.
With Don John the Bastard's plot overthrown, with a wedding day planned, and with some merry matchmaking in play for Benedict and Beatrice, we move forward to the next day in Act 2, Scene 2, where we find Don John the Bastard lashing out at Baraccio over the failure of that plot.
It is so. The Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonardo.
Yea, my lord, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable to me. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, my lord, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me.
Show me briefly how.
I think I told your lordship a year since how much I am in the favor of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman of Hero.
I remember.
I can, at any unseizable instant of the night, appoint her out to look out at her lady's chamber window.
What life is in that to be the death of this marriage?
The poison of that lies in you to temper. Go you to the prince, your brother, spare not to tell him that he hath wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose estimation you do mightily hold up, and to a contaminated stale, such a one as Hero.
Well, what proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero, and to kill Leonardo. Tell them that you know that Hero loves me. Offer them instances which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window. Hear me call Margaret Hero. Hear Margaret term me Claudio. And bring them to see this the very night before the intended wedding. There shall appear such seeming truth of heroes' disloyalty that jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparations overthrown.
Grow this to what adverse issue it can. I will put it in practice. Be cunning in the working in this, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me.
I will presently go and learn their day of marriage.
With a newer, more vile plot in play against Hero and Claudio, we completely ignore it in Act 2, Scene 3 when we move into an orchard, where we find Benedict walking by himself, talking by himself, which is something that completely normal people do.
I do much wonder that one man, seeing how much another is a fool, when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. And such a man is Claudio. I have known when there was no music with him but the drum and the fife, and now would he rather hear the tabor and the pipe. I have known when he would walk 10 miles afoot to see a good armor. Now will he lie 10 nights awake, carving the fashion of a new doublet. He was wont to speak plain and to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier. And now is he turned orthography. His words are a very fantastical banquet, just so many strange dishes. May I be so converted to see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be sworn, but love may transform me into an oyster. But he shall never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that's certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her. Fair, or I'll never look on her. Mild, or come not near me. Noble, or not I for an angel. Of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair shall be of what color it please God. The prince and Monsieur Love. I will hide me in the armor.
Yea, my good lord, how still the evening is, as hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
Your Benedict has hid himself?
Come hither, Leonardo. What was it that you told of me today? That your niece, Beatrice, was in love with Signor Benedict?
What?
Oh, aye, stalk on, foul sits. I did never think that lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither. But most wonderful that she should so dote on Signor Benedict, whom she hath in all outward behaviors seemed ever to abhor.
It's possible, sits the wind in that corner.
By my troth, my lord, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection. It is past the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth counterfeit.
Faith, like enough.
Oh, God, counterfeit? There was never counterfeit of passion came so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Why, what effects of passion shows she?
Bait the hook well. This fish will bite.
What effects, my lord? She will sit you. You heard my daughter tell you how.
She did indeed.
How? I pray you. You amaze me. I would have thought that her spirits have been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, my lord, especially against Benedict.
I would think this a gull, but the white-haired lady speaks it. Neighbor cannot sure hide himself in such reverence.
He hath taken the infection. Hold it up.
Has she made her affection known to Benedict?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true indeed. So your daughter says, shall I, says she, that have so often counted him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
This she says now when she's beginning to write to him, for she'll be up 20 times a night, and she sit in her smock till she have writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Now you talk of a sheet of paper. I remember a pretty jest your daughter told of us.
Oh, when she had writ it, and she was reading it over, she found Benedict and Beatrice between the sheets.
That.
Oh, she tore the letter in 1,000 halves and railed at herself that she should be so immodest as to write to one she knew would flout her. I measure him, says she, by my own spirit, for I should flout him if he writ me. Yea, though I loved him, I should.
Then down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, sweet Benedict, God give me patience.
She doth indeed, my daughter says so, and the ecstasy hath so much overborne her that my daughter is sometime afeard she will do a desperate outrage to herself. It is very true.
It were good that Benedict knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? He would make but a sport of it and torment the poor lady worse.
And he should. It warrant elms to hang him. She is an excellent, sweet lady, and out of all suspicion, she is virtuous.
Mm-hmm.
And she is exceeding wise.
And everything but in loving Benedict.
A hero thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die if he love her not. And she will die ere she make her love known. And she will die if he woo her, rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
Oh, she doth well. If she should make tender of her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it. For the man, as you know all, hath a contemptible spirit.
Mm-hmm.
He is a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
Before God and in my mind, very wise.
He doth indeed show some sparks that are like wit.
And I take him to be valiant.
Oh, as Hector, I assure you. In the managing of quarrels, you may say he is wise, for either he avoids them with a great discretion or undertake them with the most Christian-like fear. Well, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go seek Benedict and tell him of her love?
Oh, never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, that's impossible. She may wear her heart out first.
Well, we will hear of it further from your daughter. Let it cool the while. I love Benedict well, and I could wish that he would modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy so good a lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
If he do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Oh, let there be the same net spread for her, and that must your daughter and her gentlewoman carry.
Oh, let us send her to call him into dinner.
No! This can be no trick! The conference was sadly born. They have the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affections have their full bent. Love me! Why? It must be requited. I hear how I am censured. They say I will bear myself proudly if I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, she would rather show no sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that can hear their detractions and put them to mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis a truth, I can bear them witness. And virtuous, 'tis so, I cannot reprove it. And wise, but for loving me. By my troth, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument of her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may have some odd quirks and remnants of wit broken upon me, for I have so long railed against marriage. But doth not the appetite alter? The man loves the meat in his youth that he cannot endure in his age. Shall quips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain awe man from the career of his humor? No. The world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think to live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By this day, she is a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure in the message, then?
Yea, just so much as you may take upon a knife's point and choke a daw withal. You have no stomach, senor? Fare you well.
Against my will, I am sent to come bid you into dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those things than you took pains to thank me. That's as much to say, any pains I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not take pity of her, I am a villain. If I do not love her, I am a fool.
With Benedict successfully bamboozled, we move into Act 3, Scene 1, also in the orchard, where we find Hero along with her two gentlewomen, Ursula and Margaret. That Beatrice is in their sights.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice proposing with the prince and Claudio. Whisper her ear and tell her I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is nothing but of her. This is thy office. Bear thee well in it and leave us alone.
I'll make her come, I warrant you, presently.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedick. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedick is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made, that only wounds by hearsay. Well, now begin. Then we go near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false sweet bait we lay for it. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedick loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new betrothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them. If they loved Benedick, to wish him wrestle with affection, and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve at full as fortunate a bed as Beatrice ever shall couch upon?
O God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape nor project of affection. She is so self-injured.
Sure, I think so, and therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love. Lest she'll make sport at it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw man, how wise, how noble, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If low, in agate vilely cut. If speaking, why, a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why, a block moved with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
But who dare tell her so? Well, if I should speak, she would mock me into air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore, let Benedick, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. It were a better death than die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No. Rather, I will go to Benedick and counsel him to fight against his passion, and truly, I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedick.
He is the only man of Italy, always excepted my dear Claudio.
I pray you, be not angry with me, madam, speaking my fancy. Signor Benedick, for shape, for bearing, argument and valor goes foremost in report through Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellent did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have thy counsel which is best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's limed, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam.
If it prove so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, and some with traps.
What fire is in mine ears? Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt farewell, and maiden pride adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. And Benedick? Love on! I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reportingly.
Operation Merry Matchmaking is accomplished, and we move forward in time to the day before the wedding in Act 3, Scene 2, where we find Don Pedro, Claudio, and Leonardo gently teasing Benedick over his newfound affections. All is well, everyone is happy, and there can clearly be no evil on the horizon.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate. and then go I towards Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be as great a soul in your new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. I will only be bold with Benedict for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot, he is all mirth. He has once or thrice cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little hayman dares not shoot at him. He hath a heart as sound as a bell, and his tongue is the clapper. For what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gallants, I am not as I have been.
So say I. Methinks you are sadder.
I hope he be in love.
Hang him, truant! There is no true drop of blood in him that could be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
I have the toothache.
I'll draw it.
Hang it.
You must hang it first and draw it afterwards.
What? Not for a toothache.
Well, everyone can master a grief, but he that has it.
Yet say I, he is in love.
There is no appearance of fancy in him unless it be the fancy that he hath for strange disguises. And to be a Dutchman today and a Frenchman tomorrow. Unless he hath a fancy for this foolery, as it appears he hath, he is no fool for fancy, as you would have it appear he is.
That's as much as to say the sweet youth's in love.
The greatest note of it is his melancholy.
Nay, but his jesting spirit, which is now crept into a lute string and now governed by stops.
Indeed, that's tells a heavy tale for him. Oh, conclude. He is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
Oh.
But I know too. I warn one that knows him not.
Yes, and his ill conditions, and in despite of all,
She shall be buried with her face upwards.
Yet is this no charm for the toothache? Old Signor, walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak with you that these hobby horses must not hear.
Oh, for my life, to break with her about Beatrice.
'Tis even so. Hero and Margaret have by this played their parts with Beatrice, and then the two bears will not bite one another when they meet.
Oh,
My lord and brother, God save you.
good evening, sister.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
In private?
If it please you. Yet, Count Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
Means your lordship to be married tomorrow.
You know he does.
I know not that when he knows what I know.
If there be any impediments, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear after, and aim better at me by now that I will manifest.
Why? What's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shortened, for she has been long a talking of. The lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she, Leonardo's hero, your hero, every man's hero.
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think of you a worse title, and I will fit her to it. Wonder not till further warrant. Go but with me, and tonight you shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her. but it would better fit your honor to change your mind.
May this be so.
I will not think it.
If you dare not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you have seen and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight why I should not marry her, tomorrow in the congregation where I should wed, there will I shame her.
And as I woo to thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no further till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
Oh, they are towardly turned.
Oh, mischief strangely thwarting.
Oh, plague right well prevented. So you shall say when you have seen the sequel.
Later that night, in Act 3, Scene 3, we move away from Leonato's to a churchyard nearby, where we find Dogberry the constable, as well as his trusted right-hand man, Vergis, addressing various members of the Night Watch. In a word, the Night Watch could be described as competent.
Are you good men and true?
Yea, or else it would pity, but they should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Oh, nay, that were a punishment too good for them, if they should have any allegiance in them, being chosen for the prince's watch.
You will give them their charge, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
Hugh Oatcake, sir, or George C. Cole, for they can write and read.
Come hither, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be well-favored man is the gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature.
Both ways, Master Constable.
You have, I knew would be your answer. Well, for your favor, sir, why, give God thanks and make no boasts of it. And for your writing and reading, let that appear when there is no need for such vanity. You are thought, dear, to be the most senseless and fit man for the constable of the watch. Therefore, bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagrant men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How, if it will not stand?
Why, then, take no note of him, but let him go. And presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of a knave.
If he will not stand when he is bidden, he is none of the prince's subjects.
True, and you are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You shall also make no noise in the street, for the watch to babble and to talk is most tolerable, and will not be endured.
We would rather sleep than talk. We knows what belongs to a watch.
Why, you speak like an ancient and most quiet watchman. For I cannot see how sleeping could possibly offend. Only have the care that your bills be not stolen. Well, you are to call all the alehouses and bid those that are drunk, get them to bed.
Well, how if they will not?
Why, then, let them alone till they are sober. If they make you not, then the better answer you may say, they are not the men you took them for.
Well, sir.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him, by virtue of your office, to be a no true man. And for such kind of men, the less you meddle with them, why, the more is for your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Oh, truly, by your office you may. But I think they that touch pitch will be defiled. The most peaceful way for you is to, if you take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is and steal out of your company.
You have always been called a merciful man, partner.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will. Much more, any man who hath any honesty in him.
If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call to the nurse and bid her still it.
How? If the nurse be asleep and will not hear us.
Why then, depart in peace, and let the child wake her with crying. For if the ewe will not hear the lamb when it baas, will never hear the calf when it bleats.
'Tis very true.
This is the end of your charge. You, constable, are to present the prince's own person. If you meet the prince in the night, you may stay him.
Oh, nay, by your lady, that I think I cannot.
Now, 5 shillings on it with any man who knows the statutes. He may stay him. Marry, not without the prince be willing. For indeed the watch ought to offend no man, and it is an offense to stay a man against his will.
I think it be so.
Well, masters, good night. And there be any matter of weight chances, call up me. Keep your fellows' counsels and your own, and good night. Come, neighbor.
Well, masters, we hear our charge. Let us go sit here upon the bench until 2 and then all to bed.
One word more, honest neighbors. I pray you, watch about Signor Leonato's door. For the wedding being there tomorrow, there is a great coil tonight. Dare you, be vigilant. I beseech you. What? Conrad?
Peace! Sternert!
Conrad, I say.
Here, man, I'm at thy elbow.
Master, my elbow itched. I thought there would a scab follow.
I will owe thee an answer for that. Now, forward with thy tale.
Stand thee close, then under this penthouse for it drizzles rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee.
Some treason, masters. Yep, stand close.
Therefore, know I have earned of Don John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible that any villainy should be so dear?
Why, thou shouldst rather ask if it were possible any villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. Thou knowest that the fashion of a doublet or a hat or a cloak is nothing to a man.
Yes, it is apparel.
No, I mean the fashion.
Yes, the fashion is the fashion.
It's just, I may as well say the fool's the fool. But seest thou not what a formed this fashion is?
I know that deformed. He's been a vile thief for 7 years. He's gone up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name.
Does thou not hear somebody?
Who?
No, 'twas the vein on the house.
Seest thou not, I say, what a deformed thief this fashion is? How giddily turns about the hot bloods between 14 and 5 and 30.
All this I see, but art not thou thyself giddy with the fashion too, that thou hast shifted out of thy tale into telling me of the fashion?
Not so neither. But know that I have tonight wooed Margaret, the lady hero's gentlewoman, by the name of Hero. She leans me out at her mistress's chamber window and bids me 1,000 times good night. Oh, I tell this tale vilely. I should first tell thee how the prince, Claudio, and my master, planted and placed by my master Don John, saw afar off in the orchard this amiable encounter.
And thought they Margaret was hero?
Two of them did, the prince and Claudio, but the devil, my master, knew she was Margaret, and partly by his oaths which first possessed them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don John had made. Away went Claudio, and enraged, swore he would meet her as he was appointed next morning at the temple, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw or night, and send her home again without a husband.
We charges you in the prince's name. Stand!
The right master constable. We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery that was ever known in the Commonwealth.
Masters!
Speak! We charge you, let you obey, go with us.
Well, we are likely to prove a goodly commodity being taken up with these men's bills.
A commodity in question, I warrant you. Come, we'll obey you.
Whoop, whoop.
The criminals have been apprehended, but the plot already has been carried out against Don Pedro, Claudio, and Hero. Can they be warned in time? Will the wedding with Hero proceed? Will Benedict and Beatrice wind up together? We're going to find out in the second half after intermission. So, ladies, gentlemen, and every gender identity, we will resume the show in about 10 minutes at about 3:32 Central Standard Time. That's 4:32 Eastern and 1:32 Pacific. Hey, I can math. During this time, please go grab a beverage, make yourself some popcorn, use the restroom, not all at once. Now might also be a good time to take a look at the program we have for the show. It's in our Facebook event under one of the posts. And if you are able to, we would really greatly appreciate if you would consider making a donation through our PayPal. In the Facebook event, there is a ticketing link that'll take you right there. And also at the top of our Facebook page, the icon Shop Now. And as I said at the top of the show, it is a difficult time for everyone. So if you cannot donate, we totally understand. No pressure at all. We're just grateful that you're here. So we'll be back in 10 minutes time and present the exciting conclusion of Much Ado About Nothing. Thank you very much. See you soon. ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, etc., etc., we will be resuming the show in just over 5 minutes. So go grab your beverages and get comfortable. Take a visit to our Facebook page if you haven't yet. And we are excited to present the second half of the show. So in just over 5 minutes. Thank you so much. Take care. And it is 3:32 Central Standard Time, meaning we are back. So everyone, grab your seats and strap in for the exciting conclusion of Much Ado About Nothing. Thank you. I'm your narrator again. Hello. Act 3, Scene 4, the day of the wedding. In Hero's bedchamber, we find Hero along with her bridesmaids, Margaret and Ursula, getting ready for her big day.
Good Ursula, wake my cousin Beatrice and desire her to rise.
I will, lady.
And bid her come hither.
Well.
Troth, I think your other rabato were better.
No, pray thee, good Meg, I'll wear this.
By my troth, it's not so good. I'll warrant your cousin will say so.
My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none other but this. God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is exceeding heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee! Art not ashamed?
Of what, lady? Of speaking honorably. I think you would have me say, saving your reverence, a husband. Is there any harm in the heavier for a husband? None, I think. And it be the right husband and the right wife. Otherwise, 'tis light and not heavy. Ask my lady Beatrice else where she comes.
Good morrow, cuz.
Good morrow, sweet hero.
Oh, why, how now? Do you speak in the sick tune?
I am out of all other tune, methinks. 'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. By my troth, I am exceeding ill. Hey ho.
For a hawk, a horse, or a husband?
What means the fool, tro?
Nothing, but God send everyone their heart's desires.
These gloves the Count sent me, they are an excellent perfume.
I am stuffed, cousin. I cannot smell.
A maid and stuffed. There's goodly catching of cold.
Oh, God help me, God help me. How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it. Doth not my wit become me rarely?
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. By my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Cardus Benedictus. It is, and lay it to your heart. It is the only thing for a qualm.
Benedictus? Why Benedictus? You have some moral in this Benedictus.
Moral? No, by my troth, I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy thistle. You may think perchance that I think you're in love. Nay, by Our Lady, I am not such a fool to think what I list, nor I list not to think what I can, nor indeed I cannot think if I would think my heart out of thinking that you are in love. Yet Benedict was such another, and now is he become a man. He swore he would never marry, and yet now, in despite of his heart, he did. I know not, but methinks you look with your eyes as others
What pace
do.
is this that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Madam, withdraw. The Prince, the Count, Signor Benedict, Don John, and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church.
Help to dress me, good cuz, good Meg, good Ursula.
We move to the church for Act 3, Scene 5, where we find Leonardo putting the final touches on the church for the wedding, pacing up and down, nervous, and soon is beset by Dogberry the Constable and Verges.
What would you with me, honest neighbor?
Marry, sir, I would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly.
Priestley, I pray you, for you see it is a busy time with me.
Mary, it is this, sir.
Yes, in truth it is, sir.
What is it, my good friend?
Neighbor Vergus, sir, speaks little of the matter. An old man, sir, in his wits are not so blunt as, God help, I would desire that they were, in faith, as honest as the skin between his brows.
Yes, I thank God I am as honest as any man living. That is an old man, and no honester than I.
Comparisons are odorous palabras, neighbor Verges.
Neighbors, you are tedious.
It pleases your worship to say so, but we are the poor Duke's officers. But truly, for mine own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I would find it in my heart to bestow it all of your worship.
All right, tediousness on me, eh?
Yeah, and were 1,000 pound more than 'tis. For I hear as good exclamation of your worship as of any man in the city. And though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
Yes, so may.
I would fain know what you have to say.
Marry, sir, our watch tonight, accepting your worship's presence, had taken a couple of as of errant names as any in Messina.
A good man, sir, he will be talking, as they say, when the age is in and the wit is out. God help us, it is a world to say. Well said, if faith, neighbor Verges. Well, God's a good man, and 2 men ride a horse, 1 must ride behind. And on his soul, if it's served by my troth, as ever broke bread. The gods to be worshipped, and all men are not alike. Alas, good neighbor.
Indeed, neighbor, he comes too short of you.
The gifts that God gives.
I must leave you.
One word, sir. Our watch, sir, hath indeed comprehended 2 auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take their examination yourself and bring it me. I am now in great haste, as it may appear unto you.
It shall be supplicants.
Drink some wine, there you go. Very well.
Go, good partner. Get you to Francis Seacole. Bid him bring his pen and inkhorn to the jail. We are to examination these men.
Oh.
My lord, they say for you to give your daughter to her husband.
I am ready.
Act 4, Scene 1, the wedding. One by one, the guests from all over town file into the church, filling the pews. At the front, by the altar, we see the friar as well as Claudio, everyone eagerly awaiting the arrival of the bride.
Come, Friar Francis, be brief, only to the plain form of marriage, and you shall recount their particular duties afterwards.
You come hither, my lord, to marry this lady.
No.
To be married to her. Friar, you come to marry her.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this count?
I do.
If either one of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, I charge you on your souls to utter it.
Know you any, hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any, count?
I dare make his answer. None.
Oh, what men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do, not knowing what they do.
Oh no, interjections. Why then some be of laughing as, ah ha hey!
Stand thee by, friar. Mother, by your leave, will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God to give for me.
And what have I to give you back whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, take her back again, Leonato. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold how, like a maid, she blushes here. Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself with all? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none.
And seem I ever otherwise to you?
Out on thee seeming! I will write against it. You seem to me as Diane in her orb, as chaste as is the bud, ere it be blown. But you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
Is my lord well, that he doth speak so wide?
Great prince, why not speak you?
What should I speak? I stand dishonored that have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these things spoken, or do I have a dream?
Ma'am, they are spoken, and these things are true.
This looks not like a nuptial.
True. Oh God.
Leonato, stand I here? Is this the prince? Is this the prince's sister? Is this Faye's heroes? Are our eyes our own?
All this is so, but what of this, my lord?
Let me but move one question to your daughter, and by that motherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge thee do so, as thou art my child.
Oh, God, defend me. How am I beset? What kind of catechizing call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Mary, that can hero. A hero itself can blot out hero's virtue. What man was he talked with you yesternight out at your window betwixt 12 and 1? Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why, then, are you no maiden?
Oh,
Oh, Leonardo, I am sorry you must hear. Upon my honor, myself, my sister, and this grieved count did see her, hear her at that hour last night talk with a ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed, most like a liberal villain, confessed the foul encounter they have had 1,000 times in secret.
Fie, they are not to be named, my lord, not to be spoke of. There is not chastity enough in language without offense to utter them. Thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for thy much misgovernment.
Oh, hero! What a hero hadst thou been if half thy outward graces had been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair. Farewell, thou pure in piety and in pious purity. For thee, I'll lock up all the gates of love, and on my eyelids shall conjecture hang to turn all beauty into thoughts of harm, and never shall it be more gracious.
hath no man's dagger here a point for me?
Why, how now, hero? Wherefore sink you down?
Come, let us go. These things thus come to light smother her spirits up.
How doth the lady?
Dead, I think. Help, aunt. Hero, why, hero. Aunt, Signor Benedict, friar.
Oh, fate, take not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame that may be wished for.
How now, cousin hero?
Have comfort, lady.
Dost thou look up?
Yea, wherefore should she not?
Wherefore? Why, doth not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her blood? Do not live, hero, do not ope thine eyes. For did I think thou wouldst not quickly die, thought I thy spirits were stronger than thy shames, myself would on rearward of approaches strike at thy life. Why, she is fallen into a pit of ink that the wide sea has drops too few to wash her clean again, and salt too little, which may season give her foul tainted flesh.
Madam, be patient. For my part, I am so attired in wonder, I know not what to say.
Oh, on my soul, my cousin is belied.
Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not, although until last night I have this 12-month been her bedfellow.
Would the two princes lie, and Claudio lie, who loved her so, that speaking of her foulness washed it with tears? Hence from her, let her die!
Hear me a little, for I have only been silent so long, and given way onto this course of fortune by noting of the lady. I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions to start into her face. 1,000 innocent shames and angel whiteness beat away those blushes, and in her eye there hath appeared a fire to burn the errors that these princes hold against her maiden truth. Call me a fool. Trust not my reading, nor my observations, which with experimental seal doth warrant the tenor of my book. Trust not my age, my reverence, calling, nor divinity, if this sweet lady lie not guiltless here under some biting error.
Sire, it cannot be. Thou seest the old grace she has left is that she will not add to her damnation.
Lady, what man is he you are accused of?
They know that do accuse me. I know none. If I know more of any man alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. Oh, my mother, prove you that any man with me conversed at hours unmeet, or that I yesternight maintained the change of words with any creature. Refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There is some strange misprision in the princes.
2 of them have the very bent of honor, and if their wisdoms be misled in this, the practice of it lives in John the Bastard, whose spirit toil in frame of villainies.
I know not. Say wrong her honor, the proudest of them shall well hear of it. Time hath not yet so dried this blood of mine, but they shall find awaked in such a kind, both strength of limb and policy of mind to quit me of them thoroughly.
Pause a while, and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here, the princes left for dead. Let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it that she is dead indeed.
What shall become of this? What will this do?
Mary, this well carried shall on her behalf change slander to remorse. That is some good. She, dying as it must be so maintained upon the instant that she was accused, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer. So will it fare with Claudio. When he shall hear she died upon his words, the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into his study of imagination, into the eye and prospect of his soul, then when she lived indeed. Then shall he mourn, if ever love had interest in his liver, and wish he had not so accused her. No, though he thought his accusation true. Let this be so, and doubt not but successful fashion the event in better shape than I can lay it down in likelihood. And if it sort not well, you may conceal her, as best befits her wounded reputation, out of all eyes, tongues, minds, and injuries.
Signor Leonato, let the friar advise you, and though you know my inwardness and love is very much unto the Prince and Claudio, yet, by mine honor, I will deal in this as secretly and justly as your soul should with your body.
Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may lead me.
'Tis well consented. Presently away, for to strange sores, strangely they strain the cure. Come, lady, die to live. This wedding day perhaps is but prolonged. Have patience and endure.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wrong.
Ah, how much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange?
Ah, as strange as the thing I know not. were it possible for me to say I love nothing so well as you. But believe me not. And yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear it and eat it.
I will swear it by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it, I protest I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest that I loved you.
And do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
There is no love in you. I pray you let me go.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice, stay.
I will go. You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height of villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man! What? Bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor. Oh God, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace!
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out a window, a proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
We, hero. She is wronged, she is slandered, she is
Beatrice.
undone. Princes and counties, surely a princely testimony, a goodly count. Count Comfort, a sweet gallant, surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake, or that I had any friend would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into curtsies, valor into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue, and trim ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing, therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice, by this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged hero?
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand. And so I leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead. And so, farewell.
We shift both tone and location for Act 4, Scene 2. We move to an interrogation room in a police station, where we find Dogberry the constable and his trusted right-hand man, Burgess, interrogating the apprehended criminals, Baraccio and Conrad.
It's our whole dissembly appeared.
Stool and a cushion for the sexton.
Which be the malefactors?
Mary, that am I, and my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before, Master Constable.
Yea, Mary, let them come before me. What is your name, friend? Baraccio. Pray, write down Bo-ra-chi-o. Yours, Sirrah?
I am a gentleman, sir, and my name is Conrad.
Write down Master, Gentleman, Conrad. Masters, do you serve God?
Yes, sir, we hope.
We hope. Ah! Write down that they hope they serve God. And write God first, for God to defend, but God should go before such villains. The masters, it is proved already that you are little better than false knaves, and it will go near to be thought so shortly. How answer you for yourselves?
Marry, sir, we say we are none.
Oh, a marvelous witty fellow, I assure you, if I will go about with him. Come you hither, sirrah, a word in your ear. Sir, I say to you, it is thought you are false knaves. Sir, I say to you, we are none. Well, stand aside! For God, they are both in a tale. Have you written down that they are none?
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers.
Yeah, Mary, that is the eftest way. Let the watch come forth. Masters, I charge you, in the prince's name, accuse these men.
This man said, sir, that Don John, the prince's sister, was a villain.
Write down Princess John a villain. Why, this is flat perjury to call the prince's sister villain. Master Constable, prithee, fellow, peace! I do not like thy look. I promise thee.
What heard you him say else?
Mary, that he had received 1,000 ducats of Don John for accusing the lady hero wrongfully.
Less burglary as ever was committed.
Yay, Brother Mason, it is!
What else, fellow?
And that Count Claudio did mean upon his words to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly, and not marry her.
Oh, villain, thou wilt be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
That is all.
And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John is this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused and in this manner refused, and upon grief of this, suddenly died. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonato's, and I will go before and show them the examination.
Come, let them be opinioned.
Let them be in hands. Oh, coxcomb!
Oh, God, my life! Where's the sexton? Let him write down the prince's officer, coxcomb. Come, bind them, thou naughty varlet.
Away! You are an ass! You are an ass!
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass. But masters, remember that I am an ass. Though it be not writ down, yet forget not that I am an ass. No, thou fellow, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise fellow, which is more, an officer, which is more, a householder, which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as any in Messina, and one that knows the law. Go to, and a rich fellow enough, go to, and a fellow that hath the losses, and one that hath 2 gowns, and everything handsome about him. Bring him away. Oh, that I had been written down an ass.
Meanwhile, back at Leonato's place for Act 5, Scene 1, we find Leonato waiting outside along with Ursula, waiting for the sexton's arrival. But, unbeknownst to them, Don Pedro and Claudio are right around the corner.
Yet, bend not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too.
There thou speakst reason. Nay, I will do so. My soul doth tell me that Hero is belied, and that shall Claudio know, and so shall the prince, and all of them that thus dishonor her.
Here comes the prince and Claudio hastily.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good day to both of you.
Hear you, my lords?
We have some haste, Leonardo.
Some haste, my lord? Well, fare you well, my lord. Are you so hasty now? Well, all is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good madam.
If she could right herself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs her?
Marry, thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler thou. Nay, never lay thy hand upon thy sword. I fear thee not.
Mary, beshrew my hand if it should give your age such cause of fear.
Tush, tush, man. No, Claudio, to thy head, thou hast so wronged mine innocent child and me that I am forced to lay my reverence by, and with gray hairs and the bruise of many days do challenge thee to a trial of a man. I say thou hast belied mine innocent child. Thy slander hath gone through and through her heart, and she lies buried with her ancestors in a tomb where never scandal slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
You say not right, madam.
My lord, I'll prove it on his body if he dare, despite his nice fence and his active practice, his May of youth and bloom of lustihood.
Away! I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou so doff me? Thou hast killed my child. If thou kill'st me, boy, thou shalt kill a man.
Win me and wear me. Let him answer me. Come, follow me, boy. Come, sir boy. Follow me, sir boy. I'll whip you from your phoning fences. Nay, as I am a woman, I will.
Ursula.
Content yourself. God knows I loved Hero. And if she is dead, slandered to death by villains that dare as well answer a man indeed as I dare take a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops, scambling, outfacing, fashion-monging boys that lie and cog and flout, deprave and slander, go anticipally and show outward hideousness, and speak off half a dozen dangerous words, how they might hurt their enemies if they durst, and this is all.
But Ursula.
Not you meddle, let me deal in this.
Gentles both, we will not wake your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death, but on my honor, she was as charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
My lord, my lord!
I do not hear you.
No? Come, Ursula, away. I will be heard.
And shall, or some of us will smart for it.
Oh, see, here's the man we come to seek.
Now, senor, what's news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, senor. You are almost come to part almost afraid.
We had like to have our own 2 noses snapped off with an elder without teeth.
Leonardo and her maid, what thinkst thou? Had we fought, I doubt we should have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel, there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
We have been up and down to seek thee. For we are high-proof melancholy, and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
That never any did so, though very many have been beside their wit. I will bid thee draw it as we do the minstrels, draw it to pleasure us.
As I am an honest man, he looks pale. Art thou sick or angry?
If he be, he knows how to turn his girdle.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain.
What?
I jest not. I will make it good how you dare with what you dare and when you dare. Do me right, or I will protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
Well, I will meet you, so I may have good cheer.
What a feast! A feast?
Faith, I thank him. He hath bid me to a calf's head and a capon, the which, if I do not carve most curiously, says my knife's not. Shall I find thee a woodcock too?
Sir, your wit ambles well. It goes easily.
I tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. I said, thou hast a fine wit. True, said she, a fine little one. No, said I, a great wit. He hath the tongues. That I believe, said she, for he swore a thing for me on Monday night, which he forswore on Tuesday morning. Thus did she and I would together transhape thy particular virtues. Yet at last she conclude with a sigh, thou wast the properest man in Italy.
For the which she wept heartily and said she cared not. And, moreover, God saw him when he was hid in the garden.
But shall we set the savage bull's horns on the sensible Benedict's head?
Yea, and text underneath, here dwells Benedict, the married man.
Fare you well, boy. You know my mind. I will leave you now to your gossip-like humor. You break jests as braggarts do their blades, which, God be thanked, hurt not. My lord, for your many courtesies, I thank you. I must discontinue your company. Your sister, the bastard, is fled from Messina. You have among you killed a sweet and innocent lady. For my lord Lackbeard there, he and I shall meet. Until then, peace be with him.
He is in earnest.
In most profound earnest. And I'll warrant you, for the love of Beatrice.
It hath challenged thee.
Most sincerely.
Pluck up my heart and be sad. Did he not say my sister was fled?
Come, sir, if justice cannot tame you, she shall ne'er weigh more reason in her balance. Nay, and you being a cursing hypocrite, once you must be looked to.
How now? Two of my sister's men bound. Baraccio one.
Hearken after their offense, my lord.
Officers, what offense have these men done?
Marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanderers. Sixthly and lastly, they have belied a lady. And thirdly, they have verified unjust things, and to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First, I ask thee what they have done. Thirdly, I ask what are their offense. Sixth and lastly, why are they committed? And to conclude, What do you lay at their charge?
Rightly reasoned, and in his own division. And by my troth, there's one meaning well suited.
Who have you offended, masters, that you are thus bound to your answer? This learned constable is too cunning to my understanding. What is your offense?
Sweet prince, let me go no further to mine answer. Do you hear me, and let this count kill me? I have deceived even your very eyes. What your wisdoms could not discover, these shallow fools have brought to light, who in the night overheard me confessing to this man how Don John, your sister, incensed me to slander the lady hero. How you were brought to the orchard and saw me court Margaret in hero's garments. How you disgraced her when you should marry her. My villainy they have upon record, which I had rather seal with my death than repeat over to my shame. The lady is dead upon mine and my master's false accusation. Presently I desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Run not this speech like iron through your blood.
I have drunk poison whilst he uttered it.
But did you say my sister set you on to this?
Yea, and paid me richly for the practice of it.
Oh, she is composed and frame of treachery, and fled she is upon this villainy.
Sweet hero, now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved at first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs! By this time our sexton hath reformed Signor Leonato the mat. And, masters, do not forget to specify, when time and place shall serve, that I am an ass.
Here comes Master Signor Leonato and the sexton too.
Which is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I note another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
If you know your wronger, look on me.
Art thou the slave that with thy breath hast killed mine innocent child?
Yea, even I alone.
No, not so, villain, thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honorable men. A third is fled that had a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death. Record it with your high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you bethink you of it.
I know not how to pray your patience, yet I must speak. Choose your revenge itself. Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Yet sinned I not, but in mistaking.
By my soul, nor I. And yet to satisfy this good madam, I would bend under any heavy weight that she'll enjoin me to.
I cannot bid you bid my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray you both, possess the people in Messina here, how innocent she died. And if your love can labor aught in sad invention, hang an epitaph upon her tomb. Tomorrow morning, come you to my house, and since you could not be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew. My brother hath a daughter, almost the copy of my child that's dead. Give her the right you should have given her cousin. And so dies my revenge.
Leonato, your over kindness doth bring tears from me. I do embrace your offer, and dispose for henceforth of poor Claudio.
Tomorrow, then, I will expect your coming. For now, I take my leave.
Moreover, sir, which is indeed not under white and black, this plaintiff here, the offender, did call me ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment. Pray you examine him upon that point.
I thank thee for thy care and honest pains.
Your worship speaks like a most thankful and reverent youth, and I praise God for you.
There's for thy pains.
Ah, God save the foundation! Mwah!
Much Ado About Nothing is sponsored by the Kenosha Community Foundation. All rights reserved. Results may vary.
Go! I discharge thee of thy prisoner, and I thank thee.
I leave an errant knave for your worship, which I beseech your grace to worship, to correct yourself as for the example of others. God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart, and if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it. Come, neighbor.
Until tomorrow morning, lords. Farewell.
We will not fail.
Tonight I'll mourn with Hero.
With Hero's innocence proven, we move into Act 5, Scene 2, indoors, where we find Benedict along with Margaret. Benedict attempting to write a love ballad for Beatrice.
Pray thee, sweet Mistress Margaret, deserve well at my hands by helping me to the speech of Beatrice.
Will you then write me a sonnet in praise of my beauty?
In so high a style, Margaret, that no man living shall come over it. For in most comely truth thou deservest it.
To have no man come over me? Why? Shall I always keep below the stairs?
Thy wit is as quick as a greyhound's mouth, it catches.
And yours as blunt as the fencer's foils, which hit but hurt not.
And so, I pray thee, call Beatrice, I give thee the bucklers.
Give us the swords. We have bucklers of our own.
If you use them, Margaret, you must put in the pikes with a vice, and they are dangerous weapons for me.
Well, I will call Lady Beatrice to you, who I think has legs.
And therefore will come. The God of love, who sits above and knows me, and knows me. How pitiful I deserve. Mary, I cannot show it in rhyme. I have tried. I can find out no rhyme to lady, but baby, an innocent rhyme. For scorn, horn, a hard rhyme. For school, fool, a babbling rhyme. Very ominous endings. No, I was not born under a rhyming planet, nor can I woo in festival terms. Oh, sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I called thee?
Yea, senor, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, stay but till then.
Then is spoken. Fare you well now. And yet, ere I go, let me go with that which I came for, which is knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Only foul words, and thereupon I will kiss thee.
Foul words is but foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome. Therefore I will depart unkissed.
Thou hast frighted the word out of his right sense, so forcible is thy wit. But I must tell thee plainly, Claudio undergoes my challenge, and I must either hear from him shortly, or I will subscribe him a coward. And I pray thee, for which of my bad parts didst thou first fall in love with me?
For them all together, which maintain so politic a state of evil that they will not admit any good part to intermingle with them. But for which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Suffer love, a good epithet. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think. Alas, poor heart. If you spite it for my sake, I must spite it for yours, for I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably.
It appears not in this confession. There's not one wise man among 20 that will praise himself.
An old instance, Beatrice, that lived in the time of good neighbors. If a man do not erect in this age his own tomb ere he dies, he shall live no longer in monument than the bell rings and the widow weeps.
And how long is that, think you?
Question. Why, an hour in clamor and a quarter in room. So much for praising myself, who I myself will bear witness is praiseworthy. And now tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And how do you?
Very ill, too.
Serve God, love me, and mend.
Madam!
And there will I leave you too, for here comes one in haste.
Madam, you must come to your aunts. Yonder's old quarrel at home. It is proved my lady hero hath been falsely accused, the prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Don John is the author of all, who is fled and gone. Will you come presently?
Oh, will you go hear this news, senor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy eyes. And moreover, I will go with thee to thy aunts.
The next morning, just before the crack of dawn, in Act 5, Scene 3, we move to a churchyard, the tomb of Leonato's family, where we find Claudio standing before the grave of Hero, bearing a scroll. Nearby, Don Pedro stands, observing him, and unbeknownst to both of them, Hero and Beatrice stand nearby, observing them.
Done to death by slander's tongue is the hero that here lies. Death, guerdon of her wrongs, gives her fame which never dies. So the life that died with shame lives in death with glorious fame. There, hang that there upon the tomb, praising her when I am dumb. Now unto thy bones good night. Yearly will I do this right.
Look, the gentle day. Before the wheels of Phoebus, round about dopples the drowsy east with spots of gray. Come, let us hence and put on some other weeds, and then to Leonardo's we will go.
Act 5, Scene 4, the real wedding. Back at Leonato's house, we see Leonato and the friar, as well as Benedict, Margaret, and Hero and Beatrice getting ready for the big day and awaiting the arrival of Don Pedro and Claudio.
Did I not tell you she was innocent?
So are the prince and Claudio who accused her, upon the error that you heard debated. But Margaret was in some fault for this, although against her will, as appears in the true course of all the question.
Well, I am glad that all things sort so well.
And so am I, being else by faith enforced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, and you gentlewomen all, withdraw into a chamber by yourselves, and when I send for you, come hither veiled. The prince and Claudio promised by this hour to visit me. You know your office, father.
Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think.
To do what, signor?
To bind me, or undo me, one of them. Signor Leonato, truth it is, good signor. Your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
That I my daughter lent her? 'Tis most true.
And I do with an eye of love requite her.
Sight whereof I think you had from me, from Claudio and the prince, but what's your will?
Your answer, sir, is enigmatical, But for my will is your goodwill may stand with ours this day to be conjoined in the state of honorable marriage. Marriage. In which, good friar, I shall desire your help.
My heart is with your liking.
And my help. Ah, here comes the prince and Claudio.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, Prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you. Are you yet determined today to marry with my brother's daughter?
I'll hold my mind, no matter the outcome.
Call them forth, cousin. Here's the friar ready.
Oh, good morrow, Benedict. Why, what's the matter that you have such a February face? So full of frost, of storm, and cloudiness?
I think he thinks upon the savage bull. Tush, fear not, man. We'll tip thy horns with gold.
And some such strange bull leaped to your father's cow, and got a calf in that same noble feat, much like to you, for you have just his bleat.
For this I owe you. Here come other reckonings. Which is the lady I must seize upon?
This same is she, and I do give her you.
Why then, she's mine. Sweet, let me see your face.
No, that you shall not till you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
Give me your hands before this holy friar. I am your husband if you like of me.
And when I lived, I was your other wife, and when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero.
Nothing certainer. One hero died defiled, but I do live. And surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero! Hero that is dead!
She died, my lord, but whilst her slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify when after that the holy rites are ended. I'll tell you largely a fair hero's death. Meantime, let wonders seem familiar, and to the chapel let us presently.
Soft and fair, friar, which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do not you love me?
Oh, why? No! No more than reason.
Why then, your aunt and the prince and Claudio have been deceived.
Do not you love me?
Troth, no. No more than reason.
Why then, my cousin, Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore that you were almost sick for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no such matter. Then you do not love me.
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Come, cousin, I am sure you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon it that he loves her. For here is a paper written in his hand, a haunting sonnet of his own pure brain, fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another, writ in my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedict.
A miracle. Here's our hands against our own hearts. Come, I will have thee. But by this light I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day I yield upon great persuasion, partly to save your life, for I was told you were in a consumption.
Peace! I will stop your mouth.
Oh.
How dost thou, Benedict, the married man?
Come, we are friends. Let us have a dance ere we are married, that we may lighten our own hearts and our wives' heels.
We'll have dancing afterward.
First, of my word, before play music. Prince, Thou art sad. Get thee a wife! Get thee a wife!
My lord, your sister John is ta'en in flight and brought with armed men back to Messina.
Think not on her till tomorrow. I will devise thee brave punishments for her. Strike up, pipers!
Ladies, gentlemen, and every gender identity, the Rose cast of Much Ado About Nothing. Introducing Jamie Churchill as Leonardo and C. Cole, Kenneth Motley as Don Pedro and Oatcake, Madison Fairchild as Hero and watch person number 3, Dominic Knox as Claudio, Kayla Bingen as Beatrice and her husband Rick Bingen as Benedict, Ashley Rodriguez as Ursula the Friar and the Messenger, Tom Cawley as Dogberry and Baraccio, Gabriella Ashlyn as Conrad and Vergis, and last but not least, Sarah Zapian as Don John, Margaret, and the Sexton. And I guess also me as the narrator and the director. Thank you all so very, very, very much for tuning in. This was so much fun to produce and do this show for you. We managed to do Shakespeare in quarantine during a pandemic. Thank you all so much. If you like what you saw, I'd like to invite each and every one of you to follow our Facebook page because we're going to be producing more shows this summer. As part of our Summer Shakespeare program, we have The Winter's Tale, which performs at the end of July, and also our very first August Strindberg play called Creditors, which is a one-act drama with a kooky ending, which we'll be performing in August. And additionally, we will be producing some unannounced plays. We can't reveal their titles yet because we're still waiting to hear back as to licensing and copyright, but they are plays written by African American playwrights and African playwrights. We will be raising donations for the Black Lives Matter movement because in this country, in this world, thank you, Jamie, thank you so much. In this world, we cannot achieve equality until things are equitable, until all systemic racist organizations and governmental bodies are fixed and repaired. And we can't do much as a theater company, but what we can do is produce works by people of color and try to raise money for just causes. So that's what we'll be doing. Thank you all, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for your viewership. Thank you for your donations. And thank you for keeping the arts alive, even as the world seems to be burning down around us. It's wonderful to see so many people tune in and build that comradeship. Thank you all so much. Audience members, you are free to go. I'm not ending the video yet because us actors and people are going to talk for a bit. You can listen in if you want and eavesdrop, which is, I guess, what the characters do in the play, but you're weird for it. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us. Take care. Wow, there's still so many of you watching. Interesting. Thank you all so much. Here, let me take my headphones off because they hurt my ears.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Congratulations. We did it. This was so much fun to produce with all of you. Thank you all so much for being part of this show for the last few weeks. This was so much fun.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, man. Let's see. Oh, before I forget, I always forget this. We got to take our cast photo. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Members
I
are
was,
you
I was hoping.
for that?
How does that happen?
Basically, everybody, I know, right? Basically, everybody is going to be looking at their cameras, and then I think, Kayla, you volunteered, right, to take the photo on your computer? Great. She's just going to screenshot it. Isn't that great?
Yep.
Everyone, make sure you look pretty, put on your smiles and all that jazz, and we're going to commemorate our quarantine hair. Oh, boy.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. I'm gonna check that one to make sure it's good, but you know, you're all super great looking, so.
Go ahead.
It's adorable! I love it.
Awesome. Cool.
Yay!
Yeah, and all our names are there too, so we're all labeled. Great. Oh, I'm looking at all these comments. Thank you all for comment. Thank you all, if you're still sticking around, thank you for your continued support and viewership. Not required. This was just so much fun. I was so nervous when we had to switch to a virtual environment, and I had no idea what would happen, and yet you all put such a beautiful show together. Thank you.
Dude, I mean, you gotta give credit to Zoom because, like, when this first happened, like, I was doing like video calls with my friends and stuff, and I was like, man, like Messenger and like Snapchat video, not that great. But like, it made me nervous because I was like, oh, is Zoom any better? Hey, hello. But like this Zoom works great. Like, seriously.
It really does. This show, Much Ado About Nothing, is sponsored by Zoom. Zoom.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it? You know totally can. Although I'm totally
from the App Store now.
And of course, thank you, Alex, so much for your hard work and putting in really long days to make this happen for everybody, both casts.
We got you something, Alex.
What?
We have something for you that I will eventually deliver to you. But we got you a gift card. This is the boring part, so don't worry about that. But here in this protective plastic case is a Much Ado About Nothing that was copyright and printed in 1892.
Oh, wow.
It's very vintage. It looks very nice. So hopefully this is
wow.
good.
That's so cool.
On The Price is Right.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. I have one of Merchant of Venice from around that. It's so cool. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
You can start a collection.
I love it. It's on that shelf back there somewhere. Thank you so much. Oh.
We won't stop till you have the cannon, Alex.
What did you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said we won't stop till you have the cannon full.
Yeah. It's like the MCU like box set.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get
the Shakespeare cinematic universe.
The Branaverse, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun. One of these days, luckily with this being the Midwest cast, we're all not too far from each other. Someday.
Oh my God! Yes, please, please do an actual show.
Yeah. We need to do a post.
Or at least a proper cast party.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Tom, you're like, screw the show. Let's have a party.
There you go.
No, we'll do both. We'll just do the ball scene and then have the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be down. Oh, so having a drunk rehearsal. Yeah. Here, let me end the Facebook Live thing so that we don't start incriminating.
That's still going.
That's smart.
Oh,
That's very smart.
We're gonna still be recording this, but Facebook folk, thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna shut off your access. Bye.